They're everywhere. They're in your kitchen, they're in your car, they're in the factories that make pretty much everything you own. They're one of the most important pieces of technology out there, but you probably never even think about them. So today, we're going to put them right in the spotlight. Welcome to The Explainer, where we are diving deep into the world of timers. Yeah, have you ever actually stopped to wonder what tells a motor, okay, that's enough, time to stop, or what tells a light, it's time to turn on? What is that invisible force that just knows the exact moment to shut off a machine or, switch on the streetlights right as it gets dark? It kind of feels like magic, but the answer is surprisingly simple. The answer is a device you interact with every single day, probably without even realizing it. And that's the humble timer. I mean, from the microwave you use this morning to these massive industrial systems, this small but mighty gadget is the real unsung hero, just working away behind the scenes. So, what is a timer really, at its core? Let's break down this simple device that honestly, quietly runs our entire world. Okay, so at its most basic, a timer is just a device that controls a circuit based on, well, time. But the best way to think about it, and this is the key, is as an automatic switch. That's it. It's a switch you don't have to flip yourself. You just set the time and boom, it does the job for you.
All right, so we've established it's an automatic switch, but what do these switches actually do out there in the real world? Well, it turns out they have four main jobs.
First, and most obviously, they provide a time delay. The classic on delay or off delay, like wait 5 seconds, then turn on. Second, they're used to automatically control things like motors, lights, and other machines. Third, they can start or stop processes in a specific sequence, which is absolutely crucial for things like manufacturing. And finally, they're a huge part of automation and protection systems, making sure everything happens in the right order and, maybe more importantly, safely. Now, of course, not all timers are created equal. In fact, there are 6 main types, and each one has its own really unique way of keeping time. We're going to explore all of them, from the simplest little springs all the way to complex circuits. First up, the one we all know and love, the classic, the mechanical timer. Oh yeah, you've definitely used this one. You turn a dial, right? And that winds up a spring inside. As that spring slowly unwinds, it measures the time. Just think of that ticking kitchen timer on your counter, or the dial on an old-school washing machine. It's simple, it's effective, and it's purely mechanical. Next, let's add a little spark of electricity to the mix with the electromechanical timer. So instead of a spring, this timer uses a tiny electric motor and some gears. As that motor turns, the gears slowly move a switch from on to off, or vice versa. These are the real workhorses you'll find in big industrial settings, where reliability is just everything. All right, time to jump into the modern era with the electronic timer. So here, we're leaving all those moving parts behind. Electronic timers use circuits, resistors, and capacitors to get incredibly accurate timing. This is the tech you find in modern automation systems, the kind that run entire assembly lines or safely start up massive motors. This is where precision becomes absolutely critical. And that just perfectly illustrates the technological leap, doesn't it? We literally went from physical, turning gears, to microscopic circuits, all in the name of getting more and more precise. Next up, we have a type you are probably very familiar with from your daily life, the digital timer. The key features here are pretty obvious. You've got the digital display and the keypad or buttons. This gives you, the user, incredible control. You can set the exact time down to the second, the minute, or the hour. That makes them perfect for stuff like automatic streetlight control or really complex machine automation. Okay, now for something a little different. Let's take a look at the pneumatic timer. This one is so cool because it uses air pressure instead of gears or circuits. By precisely controlling how air flows into or out of a little chamber, it creates a time delay. This makes it a perfect fit for air-operated control systems, where it just fits right in with everything else. And last but definitely not least, our 6th type is the thermal timer. So this timer is all about heat. It uses this special strip made of 2 different metals fused together. When it heats up, one metal expands more than the other, which causes the strip to bend and physically flip a switch. It's kind of like a tiny heat-powered finger. You'd find these in older safety systems, things designed to protect motors from overheating. So let's do a quick recap of all 6. We've got mechanical, using a spring for simple stuff like kitchen timers. Electromechanical, with a motor and gears for heavy-duty industrial use. Electronic, using circuits for super high precision. Digital, with a display that gives us total control. And then our two specialists, pneumatic, which uses air pressure, and thermal, which uses heat. So after all that, after looking at all these different types, why does this one simple device matter so much? Let's bring it all together and look at the big picture. Here's the most important takeaway. Timers are the true unsung heroes of our modern world. They are the simple, powerful, and often totally invisible engines that make automation possible. I mean, without them, countless systems that we rely on every single day, they just wouldn't work, period. You know, they started out with simple springs, and now they're run by these incredibly sophisticated microchips. They control everything from our morning toast to entire factories. So, now that you're going to start seeing them everywhere, it really makes you wonder, what will we put on a timer next?